ثم حذر من 3 طوائف وختم بها التحذير، ختم بها كتابه. قال: واعلم رحمك الله أن الإسلام وأهله أتوا من طوائف 3.
And then the author mentioned these 3 groups, these 3 groups of misguidance. No, may Allah have mercy upon you, that Islam and its people, regarding those who deviated in the attributes of Allah, come from these 3 groups.
طائفة ردت أحاديث الصفات وكذبوا رواتها فهؤلاء أشد ضررا على الإسلام وأهله من الكفار.
So the first of them is those who rejected the narrations regarding the attributes of Allah and have denounced and belied their narrators. So they are more harmful to Islam and its people than the disbelievers.
هؤلاء هم الجهمية والمعتزلة.
They are the Jahmiyyah, the negators of Allah's names and attributes, and the Mu'tazila.
وأخرى قالوا بصحتها وقبولها ثم تأولوها فهؤلاء أعظم ضررا من الطائفة الأولى. هؤلاء هم الأشعرية.
And the second group who hold them to be authentic, meaning and accept them, however they falsely interpret them, and they are more harmful than the first group because of their false interpretations of them.
والثالثة جانبوا القولين الأولين وأخذوا بزعمهم ينزهون وهم يكذبون فأداهم ذلك للقولين الأولين، بمعنى أن هؤلاء، ولعله يقصد المفوضة وأيضا الأشعرية، قالوا: نحن لا نرد الأحاديث، حديث الصفات، ولا نؤولها، ولكن نقول لها معنى الله أعلم به. لما يقول لها معنى الله أعلم به، إذن لم يثبت الصفات ولم يعطي الله عز وجل حقه من الصفات، فرجع قوله إلى التعطيل. لذلك شيخ الإسلام يقول: المفوضة شر أقوال أهل البدع.
Then the author mentioned the third group. There are those who abstain from these 2 opinions, and they have what they have taken, as they claim. They do in tanzih, which is they claim that they are freeing Allah from any type of resemblance to His creation. They are indeed liars, and what has led them to do this, or to say this claim of theirs, are the 2 first opinions. So they are even more harmful than the first 2 groups. So they outwardly claim that they do not negate Allah's names or attributes, but they don't affirm the meaning of Allah's names and attributes. They don't affirm the meaning of Allah's attributes like the Ash'ariras. They only accept some. And they negate, that means that they negate the sifat, the true meaning of the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they end up saying that we do not know their meaning. Meaning that, what does that mean? Mean that we don't affirm these attributes meaning. We don't affirm these attributes meaning. So what do? Is ta'til. They negate the apparent meaning. And here Shaykh rahimahullah said that actually this type of group, or this group, the Mufawwidah, they are the worst of the they have the worst of the statements of those who came from these deviated groups. شر أقوال أقوالهم شر أقوال.
وهنا يبين رحمه الله فوائد في هذه العبارة جميلة، أن خطر وضرر أهل البدع أعظم من ضرر الكفار، ولا يعني أن الكفر أو البدعة أعظم إثما من الكفر. الكفر مخرج من الإسلام، لكن حيث ضرره أو من حيث ضرره على المجتمع وعلى المسلمين، البدعة والمبتدعة أشد ضررا من الكفار.
So here the statement of the author, which we'll look at in detail, is very important, and that is that when he mentioned that the innovators or the innovation is more harmful than that which the disbelievers are upon, that which the disbelievers bring, meaning not that bid'ah is worse than kufr, not that innovation is worse than kufr, but that it is harmful, meaning the people can be misguided by this innovation, whereas the kufr is clear. The kufr is clear, meaning innovation is harmful upon the Muslims because they may not realize that it is something which is innovated.
وهذا كما نص شيخ الإسلام وغيره، المبتدع الكافر النصراني أو اليهودي ظاهر كفره، المسلم يبتعد عنه ويكرهه، ولكن البدعة كلما كانت أخفى كان ضررها أعظم ودخولها على المسلم أكثر.
So, and this is exactly what Shaykh rahimahullah has mentioned. Not that innovation is worse than bid'ah, no, but rather that it is more, bid'ah is more harmful, meaning that it is less likely to be detected by the Muslims, and so they end up falling into bid'ah. So it's harmful from that angle. From that angle, it is more harmful than disbelief, and that's why the scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah and other than him, they clarified the seriousness and severity of innovations.
لذلك قال شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية: ولولا من يقيمه الله لدفع ضرر هؤلاء لفسد الدين، يعني لأهل البدع، وكان فساده أعظم من فساد استيلاء العدو. ولولا من يقيمه الله، يعني من أهل السنة، لدفع أقوال أهل البدع.
And Ibn Taymiyyah said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not bring about those scholars who will refute that which the innovators are upon, then the deen will become
وكان
corrupt.
فساده أعظم من فساد استيلاء العدو.
Then their deen will become more corrupted than the overpowering of the disbelievers or enemies.
قال الحافظ عبد الغني رحمه الله: فمن السنة اللازمة السكوت عما لم يرد فيه نص عن الله ورسوله أو يتفق المسلمون على إطلاقه، وترك التعرض له بنفي أو إثبات، فكما لا يثبت إلا بنص شرعي كذلك لا ينفى إلا بدليل سمعي.
And then the author mentioned, and from the necessary sunnah is to remain silent regarding that which there is no textual evidence from Allah or His Messenger ﷺ, or that which the Muslims agree upon its generalization, and leaving off subjecting it to either negation or affirmation, just as if it is not affirmed except by way of a legislated text, or it is not negated except by a legislated evidence.
وهذا فيه بيان خلاصة منهج أهل السنة فيما ورد من الأسماء والصفات.
And this is, in summary, the methodology of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah regarding their belief in Allah's names and attributes.
فإما أن يأتي الدليل على الاسم أو الصفة من القرآن والسنة فيجب إثباتها.
If a proof comes from the Book of Allah or the Sunnah of the Messenger regarding this attribute, then it is an obligation to accept that attribute.
وإما أن يأتي نفيها في القرآن والسنة فيجب نفيها.
Or that there is a negation of that attribute that you find in the Quran and Sunnah, and it is obligatory thereafter for us to negate it.
وأما ما لم يرد نفيه ولا إثباته.
And as for that which is not reported, not affirming the attribute, nor negating the attribute, nothing reported regarding it in the book and the Sunnah.
مما يسمى بالألفاظ المجملة التي تحتمل حقا وباطلا.
Such as those alfad or those texts that may come, and they are general texts, allegorical texts, not actually not actually that which is established.
فموقف السلف منها على وجهين.
So what is the Salaf, their mawqif, their position is upon two aspects.
يتوقفون في اللفظ فلا يثبتونه. يتوقفون في اللفظ فلا يثبتونه ولا ينفونه لأنه لم يرد إثباته ولم يرد نفيه اللفظ.
So that if there's no text regarding a particular attribute or name, then there's no negating it and no any text saying affirming it. So what do? يتوقفون. They don't actually affirm or negate.
هذا مثل الحيز والجسم والعرض وغيرها من الألفاظ.
Like the alfaz which are general, like jism, body, and other than that, these are not. There's nothing mentioned about them.
والموقف الآخر يستفصلون في المعنى. يسأل ماذا تريد بنفيه.
So those who the second position that Al-Sunnah have is that they actually ask the person who brings this term that is ambiguous. They say, what do you mean by this?
إن ذكر معنى حق.
If he mentions a correct meaning,
فنقبل المعنى الحق. وإن ذكر معنى باطل نرد بالمعنى الباطل.
So if he mentions the correct meaning and in line with that which is known from the text, then we accept that meaning. And if he brings a false meaning, that which is not in the text, nor found in the book and the Sunnah, we don't affirm, and rather we reject his false interpretation.
مثال ذلك لما تقول أو لما يقول الأشعرية والمتكلمون إن الله ليس بجسم.
Like for example, you find the Ash'ari, they may say that Allah has not got a body.
نقول له أولا لفظة الجسم لم يرد إثباتها ولا نفيها في القرآن والسنة، إذا لا نثبت ولا ننفي.
We say to them, the word jism, body, is not mentioned, not affirmed, nor negated in the book and the Sunnah. It's not, so therefore, يعني,
لا نثبت ولا ننفي.
we don't affirm nor do we negate, because it's not negated or affirmed in the Quran and Sunnah.
لكن نقول له ماذا تعني بقولك
But we say to him, what do you mean by your statement body?
ليس بجسم، الله ليس بجسم. إن قال أنا أقصد أن الله ليس بجسم مثل أجسام المخلوقين، نقول نعم.
If he says,
هذا المعنى صحيح أن الله ليس كمثله شيء.
If he says, no, what I mean by body is that Allah is not like the body of creation, we say, no, this is a correct meaning. This is a correct meaning, that we do not liken Allah to creation.
وإن قال هذا الذي يقصدون أن الله ليس بجسم أي ليس له صفات، هذا معنى باطل لا.
If he says, however, that Allah has not got a body, means he's not got attributes, then we reject that from that person. After we question them, what do you mean by this ambiguous statement?
بهذا نختم هذا الكتاب. قال المؤلف رحمه الله: نسأل الله سبحانه أن يوفقنا لما يرضيه من القول والعمل والنية، آمين، وأن يحيينا على الطريقة التي يرضاها ويتوفانا عليها، وأن يلحقنا بنبيه وخيرته من خلقه محمد المصطفى وآله وصحبه، ويجمعنا معهم في دار كرامته، إنه سميع قريب مجيب، آمين.
Then the author ended by saying, we ask Allah, glorified be He, to grant us success in that which is pleasing to Him by way of speech, action and intention, and that He grants us life upon that path which is pleasing to Him, and causes us to die upon it, and to cause us to be with His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the best of His creation, Muhammad al-Mustafa, his family and his companions. May Allah be pleased with all of them. May He gather us with them in the abode of His generosity. Indeed, He is the all-hearing, ever near with His knowledge, and ever responsive.
قال بعد ذلك بين شرطا من شروطه في الأحاديث أو طريقته في تخريج الأحاديث: وكل حديث لم نضفه إلى من أخرجه، يعني لم نقل أخرجه فلان، وهو متفق عليه، خرجه البخاري ومسلم في صحيحيهما.
And lastly, he said, every hadith that we did not attribute to the one who had collected it, then it is agreed upon. Al-Bukhari and Muslim collected it in their Sahih. وجزاكم الله خيرا يا شيخ.
الله أعلم، صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد، وجزاكم الله خيرا على حضوركم وصدركم، بارك الله فيكم.
Shaykh said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your presence and your coming here to benefit. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that from all of us. And Jazakallah khair to the Shaykh for his striving and beginning and ending the book with the explanation, clear explanation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place it on his scales of good deeds on the day of judgment, when no wealth nor any child can give any other benefit.